Horn here after the Thunder's 119-115 win over the Milwaukee Bucks at Chesapeake Energy Arena. Wins irrelevant. Thunder finishes 3-1 in the preseason. Biggest thing is nobody got hurt in this game, even though you had a couple of scares. Dennis Schroeder takes a knock to the back of his head in the first half. Paul George gets Dennis Schroeder in the back of the head with that elbow. Dennis Schroeder lands on his knee. Those guys are fine. Should be okay. But other than that, biggest takeaway is another impressive performance from rookie Hamidou Diallo, a guy who looks like he could be in line for a starting position once the Thunder goes to Oakland next week for the regular season opener on October 16th. It sounds crazy to think that Hamidou Diallo could be starting in that game, but when you look at the situation the Thunder's in, Andre Robertson being out with his knee rehabilitation, Terrence Ferguson being in the concussion protocol, and the Thunder only having, maybe less than a handful of practices left until that opening night. Hamidou Diallo looks like he might be the guy that can fill in that role, and it's not because he made a bunch of shots tonight. He finishes with 19 points, but he's doing the little things that Billy Donovan wants from him. Billy Donovan likes to put those young guys around veteran players. He did it with Domantas Sabonis when he was 20 years old as a rookie. Did it with Terrence Ferguson last year as a 19-year-old and 20-year-old. Putting him in the starting lineup when Andre Robertson got hurt last year, and he could do the same with Hamidou Diallo. He's shown trust in him in the preseason. He said time and time again that Hamidou Diallo, he wants him to do the other things besides shooting the basketball. He wants him to be able to play, physical, be able to box out, rebound, no coverages, be strong in pick and roll defense, move the ball. And frankly, Diallo's exceeded those expectations so far in preseason, and he probably deserves to start. This is a guy who went 45th overall in the draft in the second round. The Thunder acquired his rights with a future second-round pick and some money, and he's turned out to be a steal of a prospect at 45. He should have been a first-rounder. He had questions about his game, coming out of Kentucky in terms of his shooting. He's been a guy who's been pretty efficient around the rim, and, he's going to get open shots if he's playing with those other starters. The question is, how much is he going to make when the games are ramped up, he has more responsibility, and he's playing more minutes in the regular season? We'll see what happens. We'll see if it translates to the regular season and if he's going to be playing extended minutes in the starting lineup when that comes. But he's setting himself up to at least be a rotation player for the Thunder when the regular season kicks off next week. Just a couple of notes to wrap the preseason. Paul George looked great. 26 points in the first half, 19 in the first quarter for George. He was outstanding, and he looks ready for the regular season. Deonte Burton, a guy who's a two-way player. He doesn't project as a guy who's going to play for the Thunder this season a ton, if any, but again, I've said this before, I think he's going to be a really strong contributor for the Blue, their G League team this year. He finishes off the game for the Thunder tonight with 11 of the Thunder's 12 points in overtime. He had 3 threes in the overtime period, and he also provided some strong defense on the perimeter to help the Thunder get this win and to really finish off the game with some style. He finished with 16 points. All 16 of his points came in the fourth quarter and overtime. Now, look, the Bucks weren't playing their starters. They were playing a bunch of their B-team guys, but it's still good to see guys like Deonte Burton and Hamidou Diallo contribute and play some quality minutes.